on the strengthening programming through local sub-awards. We're going to be together for the next 50 minutes to share with some organizations the experience on working with local sub-awards. We've been hearing since morning about localization, about sustainability, about working with communities, local organizations, NGOs, and it's true, USAID is implementing through the prime partners, but we all know based on our strategy that most of the work is done by the local sub awardees. So it was important that we hear the voice from the field about how these sub awardees are engaged, how their work is being put together so that we get the deliverables that we have at the level of the mission. So to cover this topic, we have 3 guest speakers joining us today. We have starting with Susanna Lungo. Susanna is the Regional Executive Director of PASMO and the Chief of Party of the USAID HIV Prevention Project in the Central America. She leads comprehensive and multidisciplinary team across 5 countries and is a publicist and marketer as a profession. Welcome, Susanna. We have next Fanuel Thomas, who works for Nueti Comunicações para Saúde. I hope I pronounced it very well. I'm not good in Portuguese, even though I should. So, Fanuel graduated in accounting and auditing and has some administrative and financial management background in the project Nueti Zambezia. The ONG is called Nueti, funded by USAID Administrative and Financial Manager. The project is SCIP. No, he has occupied the project of Administrative and Financial Manager for SCIP project.
Project is Nueti Zambezia.
Nueti Zambezia. Okay. Okay.
Project.
Okay. Then we're expecting to have a third speaker, Jean Beckman Haridintwari. Jean Beckman has been leading organizational capacity development as focal person, ensuring the development of policies, strategies, and tools for the organizations. He provides technical assistance both for OVC and DREAMS. He works for YWCA. YWCA is the Youth and Women Christian Association in Rwanda. He will be joining us online. I think the technicians are making some. Okay, still waiting for them to join. So we'll start with Fanuel and Susan. So Susan, over to you. So Susan will walk us through the experience of PASMO working with sub-awardees to combat stigma and discrimination.
Thank you. And transgender women mainly. But we also have a component that works to reduce stigma and discrimination. And under this component, we develop our human rights strategy that is identified as My Health, My Community, My Rights, under which various interventions are implemented to reach key populations and key actors in the socio-ecological model. And for the community level, PASMO developed an intervention that is called Espacios Libres, or free spaces, where local NGOs receive sub-awards to organize community mobilizations and follow-up activities, including the facilitation of learning sessions on topics such as gender, HIV, masculinities, human rights, sexual diversity, among others. And usually we have participation from the community and from different key actors of the community. And we also work with these communities to make sure that all the actions that they implement can be sustainable in a period of time. So during fiscal year 22, we worked through. We implemented the activity It's okay? Okay. In Panama, we implemented the Espacios Libres successfully through one NGO in a community called La Chorrera, with participants including local organizations representatives that included ministries of health, ministries of education, the police, key actors such as representatives of LGBTQI plus communities, neighbors, parents. So like really a variety of local participants, and we were able to lead and to reactivate the Human Rights Committee in that community. But during all this process, we have identified some challenges and lessons learned. First of all, and to start with, as you most probably know, there are many benefits for working through local NGOs, as they are closely connected to the communities they serve, and generally the technical expertise. It is also true that some of the smaller and procurement processes and financial processes when they and to comply that they need to receive USAID funds. On top of that, at least in our region, local governments have increased their scrutiny of local NGOs with existing and new laws and requirements for registration and compliance. So in summary, I would say that beyond training and capacity building as we know it, NGOs require close accompaniment and coaching. And language is, of course, another barrier, especially to comply with all USAID requirements, because everything is in English and we speak Spanish, and not all members of local NGOs have that facility to speak in English. But it's also important to mention that internally, in our case, we also needed to strengthen our capacity and to train our own staff on Subaward management skills. So an example of the actions that we have taken after understanding all these challenges and lessons learned is that we updated our Subawards manual to make it easier and to make it adapted to these small Subawards, because at the end, those are small grants. They need to comply, but we need also to facilitate all that process. So this is it, what we have. I'm sure that we will have more time to discuss and to have questions and more comments. So thank you.
Thank you, Susanna. I welcome Fanuel, who will be speaking to share the experience and the lesson learned and best practices of a local partner building capacity of local Subawards in Rwanda. Fanuel?
Mozambique.
Mozambique, sorry. Mozambique. Sorry. The Rwandan guy. Mozambique. Okay.
Good afternoon. My name is Fanuel. I'm coming from Mozambique, from Nuete, a local organization in Mozambique. And we started activities in 2008. 2008. Then start receive USAID funding in 2013. We start working with 3 organizations as Subawards. Now we are working with 15 organizations as Subawards. I'm going to share with experience how to deal with the challenge of working with Subaward. I think so all of us know that working with Subaward is very good in order to strengthen the programs, but as well it brings a risk in terms of managing financial financial. This picture shows our beneficiaries in Zambezia province. these are girl beneficiaries of a girl club. Um, the pictures in second slide show how a team that supported the Subawards. This is the team that manage our Subawards. The map there is the districts where we work and the partner per district. So the key of this presentation is substantial involvement of a local partner in Subaward management. We understand that this is a key for the success of working with Subaward. It can be done through a capacity building. However, this capacity building should be focused on the needs of that partner. So we cannot do this capacity building as a standard, but we needed to focus in the real needs of each partner. Based on the capacity building that NIT has provided to local partners, we were able to implement with success the program. Up now, we face two main challenges. However, we have overcome these challenges, and we also learned that to have a partner that will achieve the results, we need to support the partner to have a strong sub-award support department. We have supported the partners in hiring process of staff, the finance staff, procurement staff, as well program staff. That to ensure that we hire people well qualified that will support the project to achieve the success that we aim to achieve. The other key point is to monitor the partner. We needed to make regular visits to partner office to check the progress of the results, as well to see how they are complying with USAID regulations. Thank you.
Thank you, Fanuel. Thank you, Susanna. So let's just ask you a few questions to understand better. Susanna, can you please let us know how did your partnering with the NGO when you embedded staff in their organization and working with them, having NGO that are working within the community, specific community where they're supposed to deliver services? How did that strategy or that approach make you get to your results? Yes.
Well, our strategy is based in the here. Now, okay, good. Thank you. So our strategy is based in the socio-ecological model, which understands that an individual exists within a multi-layer context, the individual, family partners, community, and society level. And in the community, we are including the health services, private and public. So SBCC interventions in our program work at the individual level. Espacios libres or free spaces work at the community level. We also work at a social level through a social movement identified as stigma and discrimination, as Generation Zero, which mobilizes young agents as youth as agents of change to reduce stigma and discrimination towards LGBTQI plus and other discriminated groups. So we are trying to approach, following the strategy, the different layers of the socio-ecological model with different interventions at the different level.
So how did what challenges your Subawards go through as you're working with them, and how were they able to overcome these challenges?
Many challenges, indeed. Um, as I mentioned in the presentation, technically NGOs are capable. The challenge is at the institutional level. You know, they are not strong in finance, in procurement, in administrative processes, and in governance. So they have limited resources also in these areas. Additionally, as I mentioned, the situation in Central America regarding the government scrutiny to NGOs is intensifying, and some have been, well, some NGOs have been used as a mean for corruption. So, and in other cases, and in some countries, governments want greater oversight over NGOs. So this puts a lot of difficulties to really get all the permissions at that level. And also, most local NGOs don't have the expertise in areas such as money laundering, fiscal compliance, legal requirements. And in addition to all this, they have to comply with USAID requirements, which are really complex, we know. So at the end, it becomes really difficult. And then again, the language in the case of the USAID requirements doesn't help, or take more time to really make sure that they comply and they understand these requirements. Um, so, in general,
Yeah. So how if you were to provide some advice to the participants who are some of them majority local partners, you also have the USA teams present. What would that be in how to approach the support to the sub awardees?
I would say that working with NGOs is definitely positive because they are part of the communities. So they work close. In most of the cases, they are part of the community or they are part of the populations we serve. So it's worthwhile. But we need to not only train or conduct the capacity building as traditionally, but to do it with more accompaniment, with coaching, with follow up, really working together, and providing the necessary resources to make sure that all these institutional needs are covered.
Thank you. So Fanuel, can you please you mentioned something about substantial involvement in your collaboration with your sub partners. How can you tell us more about how that works? Which area or how what approach do you use for that substantial involvement? What are the limits?
Uh, uh, hmm, the the substantial involvement, of course, or should be done in financial management, should be done in the program, as well should be done in overall management. In the financial management, we should monitor uh, how the partner is spending money. Uh, I think so. I heard here um, the other panelist here saying that these sub awards have sometimes issues of corruption. It's true. We know that's true. So the question is how we can work with partners, but ensuring that the risk is minimum. Yeah. So for that, we need to monitor the partner. We need to see which areas of partner need improvement in terms of internal controls. We need to help the partner to straighten his internal controls. Uh, in overall management, it's important to support the partners to ensure that they're high, well qualified the people, especially for the key positions. If you are working with partners that have a finance officer, we should make sure that this finance officer uh, can manage a US grant as a sub award. Uh, if we have a technical officer, we should make sure that this technical officer is capable to lead the implementation of the project. Yeah, so in general, we should ensure that the partner has these capabilities to implement the project.
Yeah, and you also mentioned something about embedding staff within the sub-partner organization. Can you also explain something about that for the audience?
Yeah, for Noite, we have our technical officers based in field officers of partners to provide the technical assistance. So it's easy to make sure that the program can achieve the quality that we desire, we aim to achieve. Having the technical support officers in the field office of the partner. They are supporting assistance, technical assistance in trainings, as well in monitoring how the activities are going on in the field.
Thank you very much, Fanuel. We're trying to get connected to Jean Beckman, who is online. I hope we'll be able to succeed. I wanted to know, in case you're able to listen to us, Jean, congratulations for receiving your first award as a prime partner. If you could please share with us how you did use the Itoka tool to build the capacity of your sub partners, and if you have any advice you could give to new prime partners like you that are in the room and listening. Are you online, Jean?
I proceed with my presentation.
I don't think we'll have the time for that now. I think we just go with the questions, please.
Come again, please.
I think we don't have the time for the presentation now, so we're asking if you could share your experience of using the Itoka tool to build the capacity of your sub-awardees, and if you had any lesson to share with all of the audience here. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. I'm Jean Bekemas Parindinwari from Young Women's Christian Association of YWCA. Actually, concerning ITOKA process, ITOKA is integrated technical and organizational capacity assessment, and this ITOKA tool was actually implemented under Achieve project supported by USAID. And this tool had almost around 5 steps. The first step was notification and tool adaptation. Actually, the first step was around having common understanding on the tool and also the indicators which are highlighted in the tool. Then after we conducted self-assessment as the YWCA, and also we also had an assessment from PACT team. Then after we had a joint session to share the scoring and then come up really with the gaps that need to inform the capacity action plan. For phase 1, we had 22 actions as part of CAP, and which was implemented. And when we were done with the phase 1, we also had a similar exercise and then come up with 9 actions as part of so briefly, ITOKA tool has been really very important for us as the YWCA because it allowed having exhaustive introspection in terms of governance and management to detect the gaps and levels of improvement, and also the gaps that have been identified throughout this tool implementation informed the development of actions to be implemented And during their implementation, of course, we had regular monitoring, joint monitoring with PACT team to ensure that we are meeting the deliverables and deadlines that were preset during development. And also, this tool supported learning and development of a pool of strategies, policies, and tools, of course, that responded to organizational needs. And also, this continuous self-assessment as the YWCA has been also decided to ensure that we will be actually updating our tools. This is like a lesson learned from this tool. And this tool contributed to our graduation and becoming prime of USA funding in this August 2022. And we do appreciate the tool. We would advise other organizations to use this tool. It is very, really helpful. And even before this ITOCA process, we had gone through other capacity building process with other prime organizations like global communities like CRS and PACT, of course, which came with this ITOCA tool that led YWCA to graduation and become prime of USA funding. So briefly, I would say that the tool allowed us to Briefly, I would say that this tool has allowed the organization to have or to develop really tools, policies, and strategies which are contributing to improving organizational performance. And also, of course, now the organization is credible with these tools and graduation itself. The graduation has increased its credibility among other civil society organization, and also in terms of attracting partners for more collaboration as far as its interventions are concerned. So I would say that also this process has actually contributed to have a shift of mind as organization in terms of performance, in terms of learning, in terms of adaptation, and also improvement of our ways of doing business. So briefly, I would share with you this. Thank you so much for listening.
Okay, thank you very much, Jean. So we're going to open it up to the floor. We have some few questions. Do you have the microphone, please? I think we still have about 20 minutes to go for the exchanges. There's a lot of technology issues.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Yeah.
I'm Stella Zulu from Cindy in KwaZulu-Natal here in South Africa. My question is to the first speaker. When you embed staff into the organization, how do you make sure that you don't then, once you've finished with the program and you pull your staff out, you're not maintaining their status quo you found them in? What's your process to make sure that you don't leave them as you found them?
Okay, let's take a series of 3 questions. There's a hand here, please.
Hello? No, just in line with that.
Yeah, just continue.
Okay, Joseph Inyang is my name, PHI, IntraHealth, International Nigeria. So my question is this, just in line with what you just asked. Staff embedment, I want to understand because the Subawards has a different organizational policy, and you're bringing in a staff from IP embedded in the Subawards organizations. Now, how do you marry that in terms of, carrying out, implementing the programs? Because these are 2 different groups of staff, okay, and they are adhering to 2 different policies. That's one. What are the challenges and what are the successes that you actually experienced, because you're the one who actually implemented this? We wanted to carry this out, and these things that I'm actually saying were the things that deterred us from implementing this strategy with the CSO organizations we work with. Thank you.
Okay.
So, hi, thanks everyone. Great presentations to all. I'm Jeffrey Barrow from Jamaica. I had a three-part question. It's really how, when, and where. So, how did you decide that you were ready to become a prime partner? What was it about your organization that made you think that you were ready to take on that? When did you do it within your grant cycle? So did you wait for an existing grant period to expire, or as a continuation? Did you submit a modification? Like when within the grant cycle did you take on your other subawardees? And then where did you find the capacity to manage that structure? Did you hire more people, or did you build capacity within your own organization of your HR that you already had?
Let's take some few more because just go one round of answers. Can we bring the microphone frontward?
I have it.
Okay.
Thank you for the good presentation. My name is Catherine Kimemi. I'm from World Vision, Kenya. My question is on governance. Sometimes you find the local partners have their own way on how they bring people on board, how they do things. How do you bring this change to this organization that is autonomous? And how do you marry that with the stringent standards that we are supposed to adhere to as we implement USAID programs? Thank you.
Okay, I have it right here next to her. Herbert Chisamba is my name, from Joint Clinical Research Center, Uganda. I just wanted to know, I know one of the presenters talked about embedding staff, but from my colleagues from Mozambique, we know local subawards have a challenge with retaining staff, attrition. So as you build capacity, how do you support these to ensure that the people whose capacity you have built really get retained to serve? Thank you.
Thank you for the discussion and the panelists for your insights. My question is on the vetting of subawardees. I think I would be interested to hear what your experience has been in terms of how do you identify the subawardees to ensure that they're right fit for helping you achieve your objectives, so that you're not having to find out along the way that they're either corrupt or they can't adhere to USAID regulations. Thank you.
Okay, I think we'll stop with this series of questions. We only have 6 minutes left, 5 minutes actually. So I think our speakers are going to answer to the questions. Fanuel, can you address the issue of staff, embedding staff in the organizations of the local organization? How does it work with the various, your policy and the policy of the subawardee? Which policy does your staff respect when they are in there? What are the sources of challenges with this approach? And yes, then maybe if I also address the staff retention strategy that you put in place.
Okay, thank you. Our partners have the central office, and we also have the district office. The district office is where the implementation happened. So major of the staff that direct implement the project are in the field office. So we have a technical staff has prime that should support the partner instead of having these technical support officers based in a central office that is about for some districts it's we have distance about 500 kilometers, so you need to go to move 500 kilometers to support a partner. So have the partner, we have our technical staff in the field offices, not in the central office. So this make ease the process of providing the technical support to the partners. The major element that took us to took this action was to make sure that the partner have a support in the field. We don't need to travel for long distance to provide this support. Zambezi is a big province where we're implementing the project. or the overall province, I think so. We have more than 800 kilometers within the province, so it's not easy to go from the central office, the main office of the project, to go to all the field offices to support the partners. That's why we use this strategy.
Has it always been a success? Have you met any challenges with this approach?
Yeah, we have succeeded with this approach. We don't have too many. And the partners love this idea of having this technical person in their office. The management of the district is under partner responsibility. The officer of the prime just have the role of providing the technical assistance.
Thank you, Fanuel. So, Susanna, can you please share with us like your pathway to becoming a prime organization? Where did you find the capacity? When in the grant cycle did you become a prime? And how do you approach staff retention? Because the more you build capacity of your staff, the more you are just about to lose them as well.
We became local in April 2020, but we have been working in the region since 20 years ago. We were part of an international organization. So we basically separated from the international and became local. So most of our team, including myself, were part of the previous organization. So we already have developed, different capacities. So definitely a lot of learning in like being responsibly direct of managing the award, especially in the award management, and finance and all that stuff, because now we don't have a contracts department where I used to send everything to the contracts department and they used to revise it and just tell us what to do or what to follow. Now it's our responsibility. So what we are learning and we are still in that process. I was this morning in the NICRA meeting and Doug said that we needed like to have a sub-grants team, and definitely, and we didn't have it. We don't have it yet. And so we are doing it ourselves, and that is challenging, but it's also at the same time it's a learning process and dealing with that. How we retain staff, human rights, I think it's an area that we need to work more and have the resources to really like keep the stuff. It has happened to us that we and someone mentioned it in the previous presentation that we train people, we develop skills, and then they are stalled by international organizations. So it's not fair at the end. But we need like to we are working in our human resources plan to make sure that we offer the possibility to grow in the organization and to develop and have a career. And at the same time, I think that we are also working a lot in the environment and the attitude and being really proud of that is now our responsibility and we are doing it and the results are there and in that area. But is human rights is an area that we need and to really like focus on.
Thank you, Susanna. We are almost 1 minute towards the end of the session, so we are asking an additional 5 to 6 minutes since we started a little bit late with the technology challenges that we encountered. So, Jean, online, can you share with us how you identify sub-partners to make sure that you don't discover the major weaknesses once you have already signed the contract? Do you have an approach, or how do you do that? After we are going to have a second round of questions. Jean, can you hear us?
Okay, thank you so much. Maybe I would say that for us as YWCA, we are not having sub-grantees. And maybe something new to share that I didn't mention in my presentation is that not only this iTalker tool is actually empowering organizations to improve their governance and performance, but also it has some components of new pass indicators, which really prepares sub-award or local civil society organization to be ready for a new pass assessment conducted by USAID. So when you actually you have chance to go to have capacity strengthening with the iTalker tool, actually there is a chance to also to be successful when the new pass itself is conducted by USAID. Yeah. So for us, briefly as YWC, we are not having some grantees. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jean. Fanny, do you want to take the sub-grantees question before we wrap up?
Okay. This one. Yeah. As I mentioned, it has now 15 partners. Before we started with 3. These 3 were in the proposal. It means that we written together the proposal that we submitted to USAID. So the other partners came through a public tender. So they submitted the proposals, we made the evaluation, then we selected the best. Yeah, so this was the process. Thank you.
Okay, so thank you, everyone. We are going to wrap up. We've learned from our various partners in Panama, in Mozambique, in Rwanda, how they do engage with their sub-awardee, and they're still facing challenges about retaining staff, building capacity in regional development, especially procurement and financial management. But they're finding solutions, and one that was discussed today a lot was embedding staff within the organization, doing a lot of substantial involvement within the local partners, and also providing possibility for growth, to retain the staff in the organizations. I want to thank our various panelists, Fanuel, Susan, and Jean, who is online. And I also want to acknowledge Letam for supporting us through this planning for the panel. Thank you to you as well, and congratulations to everyone. Merci beaucoup. Thank you.